Stress is one of the most insidious accelerators of aging, and yet it's also one of the most underestimated. Chronic stress doesn't just wear on the mind, it breaks down the body at the molecular level. From the shortening of telomeres, which protect our DNA, to the disruption of immune function and the inflammation of blood vessels, long-term psychological strain has a very real, very measurable biological impact. But while modern life seems designed to overstimulate and exhaust centenarians, people who live to 100 and beyond, offer a compelling counter-narrative. They live through wars, loss, and hardship, and yet they often age more slowly. The key difference may lie not in what happens to them, but in how they respond. Biologically, stress affects nearly every system of the body. When we experience anxiety or pressure, whether from work, finances, or relationships, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis kicks into gear, flooding the bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. In short bursts, this response can be adaptive. But when it becomes chronic, the cascade of hormones keeps the body in a state of low-grade emergency. Over time, this elevates blood pressure, increases insulin resistance, and disrupts sleep cycles. Perhaps most critically, it promotes inflammation, the silent engine behind heart disease, neurodegeneration, and even cancer. At the cellular level, chronic stress is linked to telomere shortening, a well-known marker of accelerated aging. Telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes, and their erosion over time signals cells to stop dividing. In studies of caregivers under long-term emotional strain, telomeres were consistently shorter than those of less stressed peers, even after controlling for age and lifestyle. This biological wear and tear, known as allostatic load, gradually chips away at resilience, leaving the body more vulnerable to disease. Yet in long-living populations from Okinawa to Salento to Ikaria, we find a different pattern. Many centenarians report lives filled with emotional hardship and economic struggle, but they do not exhibit the biological hallmarks of stress damage seen in the general population. What sets them apart isn't their circumstances, it's their attitude. Psychologically, centenarians often exhibit traits that seem to act as biological buffers against stress. Calmness, adaptability, and humor surface again and again in interviews and personality assessments. They don't deny pain or misfortune, but they reframe it. A centenarian might tell you, "It is what it is," or "Worrying won't change anything." These aren't cliches, they're cognitive tools for reducing internal pressure. Where some people see catastrophe, centenarians often see opportunity for perspective. And this emotional agility seems to have a direct impact on the aging process. Adaptability is especially powerful. People who can adjust their expectations, find meaning in new roles, and accept change with grace tend to experience less physiological stress. Their cortisol levels recover more quickly after a spike. Their inflammatory markers are lower. Their sleep is better. In other words, their bodies are not being constantly bathed in the corrosive chemicals of chronic vigilance. Humor, too, plays a surprising role. Laughter is associated with reduced stress hormone levels, improved vascular function, and enhanced immune response. It can help interrupt ruminative thinking, reframe negative experiences, and restore social bonds, all of which contribute to emotional resilience. Many centenarians use humor liberally, even in the face of physical decline or personal loss. It's not escapism, it's a kind of emotional wisdom that keeps the heart light and the mind engaged. There's also a deeper layer: meaning and connection. Centenarians often remain integrated in their families and communities. They maintain a sense of purpose, whether it's tending a garden, telling stories to grandchildren, or cooking traditional meals. This sense of being useful and needed provides a psychological anchor that buffers against stress. In scientific terms, purpose in life has been associated with reduced risk of Alzheimer's, lower inflammatory markers, and better overall survival. In centenarians, it may be a secret weapon. Modern longevity research is beginning to catch up with what these individuals have long embodied, that how we think and feel profoundly shapes how we age. Emotional regulation is not just a psychological strength, it's a biological advantage. While we can't always eliminate stressors, we can change how we respond to them. Practices like mindfulness, breathing exercises, gratitude journaling, and community building are increasingly shown to support the same psychological traits that centenarians naturally exhibit. In a world that often confuses urgency with importance, The lessons of the world's oldest people are both grounding and hopeful.
Calm down.
Laugh often. Adapt without bitterness. Find meaning in small acts. Stress may be inevitable, but how we metabolize it psychologically and biologically is within our control, and that may be one of the most powerful longevity tools of all.